Tonight we cover the new migration planning levels for the next financial year, how the age limit for working holiday makers from the UK increases next month, the new Jobs and Skills Council, migration from city to regional areas has reached new heights, and the new programs to catch AI writing assignments for students are not so perfect themselves. Hi, I'm Karl Konrad and welcome to our weekly edition of Australian Immigration News, proudly brought to you by Australian Immigration Law Services, the company I founded more than 24 years ago. The big news this week finally arrived for many UK citizens over the age of 30 as the Australia-UK Free Trade Agreement will begin to take effect. For UK passport holders who apply for Australia's working holiday visa, the new arrangements will see an increase in the eligible age range and removal of specified work requirements. From July 1, 2023, UK passport holders will be able to apply for a working holiday visa between the ages of 18 and 35 years inclusive. This is a 5-year increase from the current maximum age of 30 years inclusive. From the 1st of July 2024, UK passport holders will be eligible to be granted a working holiday visa up to a total of 3 years without having to meet any specified work requirements. Similar arrangements will apply to Australian citizens looking to apply for the UK's Youth Mobility Scheme visa. The Immigration Department released the planning level numbers recently for the 2023 to 2024 financial year. Overall, the numbers allocated are 190,000 places, just 5,000 less than this financial year. So this is good news. The total skilled migration numbers is set at 137,100, which is 72% of the migration program, only a little less than this financial year, which was 142,000. According to the Immigration Department, the composition of this skills stream is designed to address structural skills deficits and inject diverse skills and innovative thinking into the labour market to boost productivity and continue our strong post-pandemic recovery. By looking at the table here, which compares this financial year with the next one coming, the employer-sponsored visas received a minor boost of up to 36,825. The major skilled visas had a very slight reductions, and the global and distinguished talent streams kept their numbers the same. However, the business innovation and investment visas have lost their popularity, and this was not unexpected. These new numbers could be just an allocation to see those who are still in the pipeline get their visas granted. Now, when we look at the family stream figures, they are all exactly the same, except for an extra 300 places for the special eligibility program. Again, it is good news as there is only a slight reduction in the numbers, and I guess the government can say they are reducing the migration intake to keep the people happy who are trying to find a place to rent. And there is important news of what these figures are actually telling us. It tells us for the next financial year we are not likely to see a shake-up of the visa system. Yes, there may be fiddling with occupation lists and even some minor modifications to the points test, but overall structures should survive another financial year. It is important to remind everyone that the partner and child visa programs are not capped at these figures as they are demand-driven models, meaning if there is more demand and a faster visa processing, the numbers of these visas granted may increase. What is disappointing, however, is the same allocation for parent visa numbers, which means the government seems determined to keep contributing parent visa applicants waiting for longer for the grant dates to come around. The federal government is going all out to establish organisations that can effectively manage the ongoing skills shortages in Australia. First, we had the Jobs and Skills Australia, the JSA, announced at the summit last year, and now we have the Jobs and Skills Council, the JSC, up and running. It's hard not to miss the emphasis on jobs here. Over the next 4 years, the JSC will receive $402 million to address shortages and broader workforce challenges. The JSC will develop about 10 programs called Skills Insights, covering key industry areas such as hospitality, manufacturing, and early educators, health and hospitality. The first Skills Insight has now been established to pursue solutions to skills and workforce challenges currently facing the agri-businesses. Potential international students would be well advised to keep an eye on the types of occupations in high demand in regional Australia, such as cropping, livestock, aquaculture, and forestry, along with national shortages of agricultural and forestry scientists and agricultural technicians. Those of you looking for a place to rent in Sydney will be very glad to hear that people are leaving the city faster than any other capital in Australia. Of all the people leaving capital cities to move regional, 90% of them came from Sydney, according to the Regional Australia Institute. The total trend of this city to regional migration has risen 7.9%, the third highest level in the past 5 years. Townsville was singled out as one of the main beneficiaries of this regional migration, according to the Guardian newspaper. They have had over a 500% rise in new residents moving to their region from all over Australia. The story quoted the local mayor as saying in the past, if you were diagnosed with cancer, residents would prefer just to go home and die rather than the hassle of travelling to Brisbane and finding a place to stay whilst they had treatment. However, the benefits of the increase of population in Townsville region has resulted in an increased medical services where cancer can now be treated locally. So there you go, all of those 491 visa holders sick of the cold in Tasmania, it may be time to consider a warmer, faster growing community to live in. The new Tismet level of 70,000 due to take effect next month seems to be wreaking havoc in the 482 visa application processes for aged care workers. The Financial Review highlights many care facilities will not be able to afford the pay increase for temporary migrants. The aged care sector workers are set to receive a 15% increase in their wages from the 1st of July. However, this will still put many of them below the new Tismet. Those aged care centres in Dharma areas are able to offer a lower level than the Tismet to their staff, so it does not seem to be an equal playing field throughout the industry. The overall objective of getting enough staff into care facilities seems to be a tall stretch right at this moment. Due to the negative impact of the pandemic on overseas net migration numbers, it is no surprise to see a story this week in the Sydney Morning Herald that 9 out of 10 universities are running at a loss. Only Sydney University posted a profit of $289 million, and the University of New South Wales suffered the largest loss of $169 million. The drop of the number of international students was a major component causing these losses. So the universities are looking for more international students to arrive here to keep them afloat, whilst many seeking to find a place to rent unfortunately want less. It is indeed a very unusual set of circumstances that we have never seen before in this country. For those international students struggling to get their essays written, be warned, even if it is your own work, AI detection tools may falsely accuse you. The ABC ran this article about how Chinese international students were flagged for using the AI programs to write their essays, when in fact they did not. The article highlights that the new AI detection software seem to have issues with non-English speakers when they write. The article cites a study from Stanford University in California which urged caution after it found programs to detect text generated by AI could be biased against non-native English writers. The University of New South Wales and the University of Sydney are quoted as saying that AI detection tools do not necessarily mean misconduct if essays are flagged, but rather it means that further investigation may be warranted. So when your partner sends you that fantastic love email, you better check who actually wrote it. Sort of takes the fun out of life, doesn't it? Now, it's a shame the Immigration Department cannot use this AI to detect visa applications lodged by visa scammers. The ABC Background Briefing program ran a podcast about visa scammers targeting vulnerable Taiwanese temporary residents in Australia. It seems very sad that the Taiwanese community sees paying $100,000 for a job in the meat industry as being normal. These jobs using the 482 visa under the meat industry labour agreements do have pathways to permanent residency and as such are very sought after. It is very disappointing after listening to the program that the Immigration Department has done little to stop the exploitation of the country's most vulnerable residents since we highlighted similar scams 10 years ago. Mayeta Clark from the ABC did an excellent job preparing the story, and you can listen to the podcast in the link in the description. And now it's time for one of our viewers' comments. This week Olivia writes in and says, "This video is not relevant to me, but I can't help myself tuning into your videos every week regardless. Haha." Nice to hear that, Olivia, and thank you very much. No doubt this is due to Constantine's fantastic editing abilities and the short clips of Sakura at the end of our videos. And for those of you who missed last year's Sakura's Christmas special, I'll leave a link to that at the end of this one. Now, June is a big month for potential changes that start in July, so stay tuned for all of our weekly editions coming up. If you need help, we are always here. Book a consultation on our website online, but if it's urgent, just pick up the phone and we'll see if we can squeeze you in. I'm away for the long weekend next week, but I'll have another interesting video prepared for you. If there's a lot of news during the week, I'll get it done from the great outdoors if necessary. For all of you, take care out there and I'll see you next time. So bye for now.